Welcome into the DFS Den. Dave Eddy here, aka Corporal Eddie on Twitter. Had a good weekend, had a good profitable weekend. Yesterday, Sunday, was probably the best of the days. Hoping to ride that lightning here into Monday. We do have an evening slate, so a 10 gamer, an 8 gamer. Starts at 7:10. So let's go ahead and run through what we got going on here and see if we can't, have a good start to the week. For pitching, it's looking like kind of business as usual. I'm very interested in Max Scherzer right at the very top. Now, I know that he has kind of struggled a little bit here to start off the season, but that's a guy that I trust, and I think he very well gets back on track here against San Diego. And then I'm actually going to scroll down towards the bottom for the other guy that I'm most interested in, and that's Zach Gallen. He's going up against Milwaukee. And, Gallen is kind of in the same boat as Scherzer. Hasn't started off great, but I have confidence in him today. We do have some decent options for pitching, so it's not out of desperation that I go down to Gallen. It's out of some confidence that I have in him. Other two guys I'm interested in, we go back up to the top here, looking at Luis Castillo going up against the Cubs. Castillo has fared significantly better, and I expect he's going to be very popular today, maybe the most popular pitcher on the slate. So I'm going to have some exposure to him. And then I'm going to go down even lower than Zach Gallen, and I've got some interest in Bryce Elder. Kind of the same thing. He had a tough matchup on the road in St. Louis, and he fared extremely well. I expect him to be extraordinarily popular today, but I'm going to ride with my horses. I'm going to be at least a little bit different in Scherzer and Gallen. Then we hop on over to the hitting side of things, and I think I'm going to ride probably what ends up being the two most popular stacks of the day. At this point in time, I really can't decide between the two of them. I'm just going to have solid exposure, more so than any other teams, and just kind of ride with that and trust the process here. In doing so, the guys I'm looking at here are Hunter Renfroe. He's going to be batting fifth in that Angels lineup, going against lefty Patrick Corbin. So it is a nice righty versus lefty matchup. Corbin has been terrible and likely to get blown up today. And Hunter Renfroe is going to be batting probably in the 4 or 5 spot. And he's got multiple hit efforts with a home run and at least 3 RBIs in each of the last 2 games. So riding a hot hand there. Then a guy I've talked about in the past, earlier in the season. I know we're not very deep into it, but earlier in the season. And he comes in very cheap as well. And he can slide into a couple different positions. But talking about Alec Burleson, he's on the road. He's in Colorado going up against Herman Marquez. It is, again, a lefty versus righty matchup. And outside of one pretty big game earlier in April, Burleson's been okay. Hasn't really had a double-digit effort here lately, but I think this is a really good spot for him. He's going to be batting out of that 2-hole, and I can see St. Louis putting up a ton of runs. So that is where I'm sitting today. Hopefully you've been following along. We got a lot of good feedback from a lot of people who are winning right along with me. If you're one of them people, go ahead, drop a like on here real quick. Lets me know how many people, exactly are enjoying this. Helps the videos to reach a wider audience as well to help, get this out. And then most importantly, what you can do for yourself is pop on over here, subscribe to the channel. You're definitely going to want to turn on those notifications so you get an alert each time a new video comes out. A lot of times there's a short window of time for this information to be actionable. And so those alerts, as soon as a video comes out, can be really helpful. Not every slate starts, in the evening like tonight, but you don't want to miss them. So I appreciate you tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.